Okay, here we are again. This one is a special one. Not very often you go through a proof roll of coins because, well, proofs didn't come in rolls. They came in proof sets. And in order to get a roll of proof coins, you would have to break apart 50 proof sets. And some people do that to grade the coins therein, or grade some of the coins therein. And for those who are grading like the silver $half out of them, they will take the individual cents and nickels and dimes and make rolls, proof rolls out of them. And that's what this is. It's a 1957 proof roll. It appears that the cap is coming off because proof coins are thicker than your regular business strike coins, so it takes a little bit of extra stretch room for 50 coins to fit inside of a tube. And that's why this is the case. You look at it, you got a pretty nice looking proof coin right there on the end, and we'll pour it out, and we've got 50 proof 1957 Lincoln cents here. I'm always very careful about how I handle proofs. I never handle them by the surfaces of the coin, only the edges. Been doing this for a long time. Don't try this at home. We're what you call professionals. Brad comes up first coin. And this will be Brad's coin, 1957 proof. You see those little beady marks in the field? Those little beady marks are signs of die wear, which means that this is not an extremely fresh die. That's all that means. Flip over and take a look at the reverse. Most of your double dies are going to be rather minor, and most of them are going to be on the reverse. Let me get this set for proofs. It's a little bit thicker. There we go. It's going to be following the same rules basically as any other double die reverse on Lincoln cents. You're going to have an egg-shaped dot maybe on both sides. You're going to have some elongation, doubling in the lines on the upper wheat area. I see nothing on that coin. I got to get myself used to looking at 57 proofs here. So Brad will get a normal coin. Going to kind of work on a little hedge side bet of my own that we might run into 2 or 3 decent double dies in this roll, but they are not very common. So the idea that this roll turns out to be all double dies is probably not going to happen. Coins are also going to be exceptionally bright because they have mirror shiny fields. Yep, 2 DDOs listed for on copper coins anywhere. A lot of DDRs. Some of them a lot more obvious than others. This is machine doubling here, what you're seeing on the UM of Unum. Not a double die. Everything's kind of struck down to the wire thin. It's easy to see when you get this kind of detail struck into a coin. It's easy to see the doubling when you do have it. Evolution, revolution. One of the 1957 proof double die obverses is a class 6 that shows mostly in the date area. Pretty nice. Another one that kind of shows a little bit in the motto. Yeah, there it's a doubled I. I can't remember right now. I don't look at coins with a list in mind. I look at coins with objectivity in mind. And the list only comes after I have found something. But I don't look at coins expecting only to see a list of items. That is how you set yourself up to find stuff you wouldn't normally expect or wouldn't necessarily expect. Anything different is worth a second look. Follow your rules on what double dies are and what RPMs are and what they look like, and you should be able to determine the difference between like machine doubling, eject and strike doubling, things like that, and a real double die. One for Carl. There's a double die. It's a minor one, but it is a double die. And you'll be able to see it if I get this turned around the right way and the light plays nice with me. Okay, you can see it by an elongated dot here, but there's also extra juice on the left to right details of the letters. And it might actually turn into actual decent separation. You see it here in the U of pluribus. You can see it right here on the S. Actually, the S is pretty nice. So that means it'll get stronger as we go across here. And it does. A little bit stronger. I'm going to zoom in on this so it makes it easier for you to see it. And now we're going to make it a little bit brighter, make it easier to see. But you got that doubling right there on the top of the M. You've got doubling right here all the way through the base of the U. And on the N, and if you follow around, it's basically in that same direction, going all the way around the coin. The S is quite nice because you can see a little stretching going on right here, but you've got a secondary top and a secondary bottom of the letter. So this is a double die reverse. Congrats to Carl. Has a double die reverse out of this roll. Should be able to see it on the top of the wheat lines. Yep, you can see it right up there. You can see double termination at the end of the wheat lines right there. Maybe a little tiny bit of extra thickness across the bottom of the design, the bottom area, but not a lot to see down here. So there we go. This one I'm going to put in reverse forward so Eric will know this is a double die reverse that we're looking at. And that'll be for Carl. Now, something about proof rolls versus BU rolls. If you look through an original BU roll, you're going to find the repeat of individual dies a bunch of times. 3, 4, 5, 10 times in a roll. Sometimes 20 times in a roll. But with proofs, you won't see that. And the reason for that is because proof rolls are all hand assembled. There were no proof rolls from the mint or banks or anything like that. So any proof roll that you have had to have been assembled from individual proof sets. And unless you can ascertain those proof sets all came from the same case, you can't necessarily promise yourself that you're going to find any duplicates of any particular dies, which is fine with some people. They just as soon rather find a roll full of double dies and all of them be different. It's really hard to get a proof coin like this lit really well for observing on a show like this. So I do the best I can with it. Coin number 7 now. Mark. We're running almost an hour ahead. I'll show you. We do have maybe not. Nope. Not a double die. I thought maybe we might be looking at one. Let's check the obverse of this one now. Nope, not there. Let's get this lighting under control. A little better for looking at proofs. Proofs are just really hard to zero in on. All right. right, so that one for Mark. Got nothing special going on. Coin number 8 now. Jim? I don't see anything here. Well, if I do, you'll know it. For sure. I see. Okay, here we go. The reverse is, it's apparently normal. You'll see extra thickness in the lettering. Then you start looking for the separation. If you have the separation, then you probably got class 2. If you don't have separation, you probably got class 6 if you have extra thickness. And then other forms of doubling should be relatively obvious if you have them, which isn't common. Taco John up next. Taco John coin number 9. We have a double die. We have a class 6 double die. This one's got a lot of extra thickness on the date. And then you'll see the teardrop pull, the taffy pull look to the lettering in Liberty. And in fact, the R especially has some pretty nice looking doubling. You can see doubling in the lettering going across Liberty. And up here in the motto, you'll also see a lot of extra thickness in the lettering. Especially here in the R of trust, you can see how much taller that leg there stands up than it should. The thickness here in the corner of the leg. I told you we were doing it, Kinemon. But yeah, the extra thick doubling on the obverse here. This is DDO, I believe DDO 1 for the date, but it's a FS listed double die, so that means this one will grade out nicely and it will be a quite valuable coin. Congrats to Taco John. Very nice. Waiting on a notification. Why would you do that? Told you guys I'd be back in just a few minutes. All right, next one, Sissy. Notice how the date is of normal thickness again. Makes it a lot easier to spot your die varieties when you know what a normal one looks like. So look at lots of normal coins. And after you've looked at a lot of normal coins, then you know exactly what the die varieties are because they do stick out as being different. All right, here on the reverse, I show a normal coin. Normal obverse, normal reverse, probably normal altogether. That's for Sissy. Not very often we go through those proof rolls because I generally don't have proof rolls to go through. But when we do, it can be a very exciting adventure, as we are having here. Now, one minor double die reverse so far, but we've got one of the major double die obverses. Have a good evening, Crispy. And nothing on the reverse. So, a normal coin. Number 12, Kurt. Normal date. Normal Liberty. Normal I. Let's flip it over and see the other side. Let's take ourselves a peek here. And we have nothing outside the norm. Found a surprise today when I turned on my television and saw a news conference going on that President Trump decided with the U.S. Joint Chiefs of Staff and the military to invade Venezuela last night. That is a surprising turn of events in the world. Not that it weren't necessarily expected, just a little bit of a surprise that it actually happened. A lot of talk in the government usually never equals anything, but it seems that for better or for worse, President Trump seems to be very serious when he says he's going to do something. And I don't have any feeling one way or the other about what all happened. I'm not especially jubilant or pissed or anything like that. I just kind of think it seems a little odd that the government could just jump in and do something like this, and it doesn't seem like there was a lot of conference before this happened. Seems almost like a unilateral move, and I hope that isn't the case, because a unilateral move could be a very dangerous thing for the future of our country. I mean, that they went in and took Maduro and, talked about replacing their government with a puppet government for a while. I mean, that's to be expected. That's not even surprising. There is a spot where this coin was struck through a thread. It looks like there's a thread sitting on the coin, but I rest assured that is the surface of the coin right there. And it's got just a little thread thing running through a little fiber. Kind of cool. That isn't uncommon, but let's finish that up by saying it's not exactly common either. It just kind of is. See what we got here for Ant. Don't see anything there. Oh, I'm sure it probably did play a factor, especially since President Trump claims that Venezuela had a lot of stolen American oil. So he says that nobody else has done anything about getting it back. Well, he did. So he says. So, hey, it's a new age, right? Okay. This one has nothing special. Got some nice grade coins here. 67s, some possible 68s. Really nice looking. One for Carl here. Carl. And nothing special on the date. And God We Trust looks normal as well. And Liberty. Flip it over and see what we have on the reverse. I'm not seeing anything of special merit here, so we will move on. Hey, Frank. Coin number 17 now. This one for Paul Hampton. Dude, you should go back and look at the rest of the video, because we've already run into 2 double dies in this hunt. Never expect anything out of these rolls, but you always hope for the best, you know. Well, that's probably true, Kinemon. Yeah, I really don't have any political comment. I don't know enough about what happened to really give good comment on it, and I don't pretend to be an expert in any form or fashion. It's just surprising to me that they managed to pull off a rather serious military operation without anyone knowing about it ahead of time. without anyone in the public knowing about it ahead of time. Now, it's been coming for days and days, and warnings have been shot across the bow and nobody listened. So I understand why it was done and that it was done covertly. I just never expect that the United States can be secretive enough to do anything covertly. I guess that's the only surprise I do have, is that I didn't know anything about it before it happened. I mean, I knew it was coming. Just nobody was specifically told that it was D-Day, you know? The Venezuelan people like it? Well, I would think so. We got rid of a dictator. And their country is in total financial ruin. Maybe, perhaps, there will be a way to build it back better so they can move on as a good country. When I was younger, I went to school with a Venezuelan exchange student, and I got to know him a bit and helped him learn English and just became a friend. And he was a very, very good guy. And Venezuela was not short on money or on freedom or anything else back in those days. We're talking about in the early 80s, late 70s, early 80s. And now, well, it's basically a world cesspool. It's a bad place. Very poor. No food, basically no anything, because the dictator was essentially robbing everybody blind. And President Trump decided he was going to put an end to that. So he did. Hey, Frank, Happy New Year to you. Let's see here. We got any pretties? No other double dies that I have seen so far. Doesn't mean we're not going to see any. Just means we haven't yet. One obverse and one reverse. The reverse went to Carl, and the obverse to Taco John. The obverse was a very nice Class 6 double die. Found my very first one of those at a coin show in Wichita, Kansas. Bought it from a dealer named Errol Haynes. I think I paid $5 for it. I showed him what it was. Took it out of the book. Said, take your loop and take a look at the date on this. He said, yeah, and so what? I said, so I'm going to buy it from you. He said, well, what am I looking for? And I said, well, look how thick the date is. He couldn't see it. And I said, take another 57 proof and take a look at it. And then go back and look at this one. And, oh, yeah, it is different. Yeah, that's what I want to buy it for. Okay. That would have been, I think it was 2002 when I got my first one of the 1957 beautiful Class 6 double die obverses. You have to obverse and reverse every single coin in a proof roll because there is no, well, we've seen that die before. Because proof rolls are all basically hand stacked. There are no bank rolled proofs. There are no mint rolled proofs. They didn't do that. Proofs went straight into proof sets. Proof sets have to be busted down to make rolls of coins. Carrie Bruce, here's one for you. What do we have? It's normal date. Normal eye area. In God we trust and liberty are all normal. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, all normal. Let's take a look at the reverse now. Nothing outside the ordinary. Nothing outside the ordinary, but it is a 1957 proof set. Pretty sharp details. Farm dog. Up now. A couple of spots on this one. Little carbon spots, little tiny ones. Nothing obversing. What about reversing? Nope. Got nothing odd. Gotta move on. Coin number 25. Now, it's 37 minutes after 8 p.m. in the Eastern Time Zone. This reveal was scheduled for 9 p.m., so we're running a little bit ahead. Meaning that we're probably going to get finished with this one before it's supposed to start. So I'm going to go ahead and let you guys know that I will be back tomorrow. I've got 2 more reveals to accomplish before I leave for Florida. I'm leaving this coming week to go to the fun show. I will be at the fun show at least Thursday and Friday, possibly Saturday, depending on what is found, what I have to drag away from the show, how much weight I've got to carry around, things like that. Coin number 26 now for Carrie. Back to Carrie. Let's see if Carrie gets something nice. Well, nothing special there. Nothing on the obverse. Let's check and see what we see on the reverse. And we've got just a little bit of doubling showing up on the bottoms of the letters, but that is machine doubling. That is not true hub doubling. It is machine doubling showing up just a little bit on the bottoms of the letters of the motto at the top. And nothing else there. You'll listen for the notification bing tomorrow. Now that the reveals are already scheduled, one for 11 and one for noon. That's Eastern time. So it'll be 8 and 9 a.m. over on the left coast. And when I get done with one, I pour straight over to do the other, so it may take an hour, hour and a half to get both of them done. Dirty Water, what books are we talking about? I'm not working on any book right now. I'm trying to get things back and operational with the website prior to doing anything with publishing any new edition of any book or any new books. I have what you call goals in life, and one of those goals is to see Copper Coins to its completion as far as I had wanted for it to go. I have a really robust website that includes photos of most of the... Oh, we might have a Class 6 here. No, we don't. Thought for a second we might. But a really good website that contains all the information a person needs to collect Lincoln cents into the expert level. Oh, you know what, Dirty Water? I'm glad you just reminded me of that. I'm going to have to get that project out and take care of it. I hope I've got the... Yeah, I'll get those done and get them shipped out. Thank you for reminding me about that. That was for the book about the key date Lincoln Cents that I sold. Gosh, it's got to be 3 months ago now. Yeah, I remember that now. I'm embarrassed that I forgot. But I need to get those printed up, ready to go. I'll probably do that right after I return from Florida. I don't have time to get it done now. Nice. Got nice opal in the mail. No, you're not wrong. You are correct. Your reminder reminded me, so you can thank yourself for jiggling my head and making the cobwebs bust out so that I can remember what I'm supposed to be doing. But I will get those printed up and sent out upon my arrival back to North Carolina. Carrie, got another 57 proof for you. Our last one in the roll. I got nothing on the obverse. A little bit of a struck through a piece of fiber there on the back of the coat. That is not a scratch. That is a struck through fiber. Now the reverse. Got nothing. Number 33. Bread. Nothing on the obverse. Let's look on the reverse and see. Nothing there either. Number 34. Let's see what we have for number 34. Carl? No dice there, and Carl holds the only double die reverse found in this roll so far. Let's see what we find on this coin. Yeah, it's going to join the others that don't have any doubling on the reverse. There is that. Coin number 35 now, Blaine. Nothing on the obverse there. And the trail is rather dry. Nothing really on the reverse either. Next, coin number 36. I have two reveals tomorrow. The first one's a 1959 D roll. The second one would be a 1967 roll. I've had requests for both, so I decided to fulfill those requests. Got nothing on this one. That's for Jim. Okay, I appreciate that, Dan. One for Mickey now. This has got just a little bit of milkiness on the obverse. It's caused by storage. The packaging, the cellophane packaging, had a tendency to leach cloudy chemical residue onto proof coins when it was not stored properly, got too warm. Good night, Carrie Bruce. You have yourself a wonderful evening. We will probably come on live at least once if we have the opportunity to on the way to Florida. I'll be in the car with Mickey. We'll get something figured out to do. Okay, nothing on that one. Might even have to do a live game show. I might actually do that. Do a stream while we're on the highway on the way down, and ask some generalized trivia questions. End up with a winner at the end of the show who will get something nice. We could do that. Numismatic trivia. U.S. geography. Science. Movies. Music. Some different basic categories I can think of. Nothing on that one. How about number 41, Jackalope? The Jackalope Herdmaster. Now, all of these dies back in this period of time started out with it's like a powdery cameo appearance on the raised faces of the coin, but they quickly wore off. They were done with acid, and that acid just basically flattened out with the force of striking coins. And when it flattened out, it would turn back to a mirror shine. So coins from prior to 1970, prior to about 1965-70, prior to that period, that have that powdery cameo appearance are worth quite a bit more than the coins that don't, because they're quite scarce. They just don't show up often. And 57 is no exception to that. If you get a 1957 proof Lincoln cent with a really nice full cameo, it could be worth twice as much or more as the ones that don't have the cameo. And none of these do. These are all very baseline, normal 1957 proofs as far as condition is concerned. And that is the only thing these rolls were ever looked at for, because these coins are the rejects from a greater standpoint that a dealer opened hundreds of proof sets and pulled all of the coins that wouldn't grade cameo, pulled all those out and stuck them in tubes. He doesn't care anything about die varieties, so it was a boon for us. These are the rolls that I was using in doing the pool shows. I may still do a pool show or two. Don't know. What do you think? You want me to do pulls? Not going to be able to have very many more of them because I'm not ordering new coins. But we might be able to have a pull or two with what I've got in stock already. Number 44, Taco John. Nothing on the obverse. Let's check the reverse. Taco John has the only double die obverse found in this roll. Number 45 now for Richard. Not there. There's a struck through fiber right there on the O of 1. Now 46 for Mickey. Mickey. Probably already in bed or getting ready to go to bed. Hello, Mr. Huarbe. Happy New Year to you, sir. All right, got nothing on that one. We got 4 coins left in this roll. First of those 4 goes to Stan. Let's see what Stan gets. But seriously, one really nice Class 6 double die obverse and a 57 proof roll is a win. Pretty big win. Also got a decent double die reverse. That one for Carl. Number 48, back to Taco John. Nothing on the obverse. Nothing on the reverse. 49, almost at the end of this roll. We got one for Mr. McCumber. Oh, Daniel. Not on the obverse. And not on the reverse. Number 50, Jackalope Herdmaster, last coin in the roll. Maybe it's a good luck sign. And we've got nothing going on here. Make sure you join me tomorrow for the last 2 reveals that I have not yet done. One of them a 1959 D roll and the other one a 1967 roll. I get those one done and taken care of. Now Monday I'm going to be gone, so I will not be selling any reveals. I don't know if Eric will be yet. So there we go. We got the 2 die varieties in there. Nice double die obverse for Taco John. Nice double die reverse for Carl. And that's it. That's what I've got. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Have a great night.